Good morning, everyone. So, how are you? Hope you have enjoyed your winter vacation. Now you are back in study mode and ready to learn. So, before we discuss our sample paper, let us discuss syllabus for the term. Though we have already revised it, let us see once again so that our memory is refreshed and we are ready to work on it. So, you can see on my screen syllabus of term 2, where we can easily learn that only two chapters are coming. First is database concept and structured query language or SQL, that is of 30 marks. That means major portion of your syllabus is covered by this unit only, right? Now the next unit is introduction to emerging trends, and that is of only 5 marks. So in this session we are going to focus just on unit 3 only, and then later on we will touch introduction to emerging trends. Let us dig deep and see what is the content of unit 3 and how much we have already covered, and what are the topics which we have to learn. So unit 3 is database concept and structured query language, in which chapter 1 is database concept. Here we are going to learn why we need a database and what is database management system. Then we will be learning about various models and the key terminologies of database, which we have already covered before commencing to winter vacation. That is concept of attributes, domain tuple relations, candidate keys, primary keys, alternate keys, foreign keys, and many more things we have already discussed. And we have also learned about the structured queries, in which we have learned how many types of SQL statements are there: DDL, DML, TCL, DCL. So all we have learned, just we need to refresh them. And while going through the sample papers, we are going again look into it, what are they, and your memory will be refreshed again. So then we have also learned about how to create a table and how to create a database, how we can see the number of databases in your system, how we can see and check number of tables in a database, and we have also learned about the database. So you can say that we, before commencing to the winter vacation, we have already covered 3 major units or 3 major parts, and now we should learn what is data definition language, and amongst these we have to learn all these things. Now one thing you will notice while going through the sample paper, that some of the functions which are not listed in this syllabus are there in the sample paper. So we will look into it, what are those functions. Actually they are defined or described in class 11th, and obviously we are going to look into it. Then the chapter 4 or unit 4, that we are going to learn later on, we will not discuss right now. Okay, so let us quickly jump to the syllabus, or sorry, it's sample paper, which is issued by CBSE last month. Now here you can see this is the simple sample paper. Let us quickly go through the general instructions. It will contain 3 sections: A, B, and C. Section A of 7 marks, each contains 2 marks each. Section B consists of 3 questions, 8 to 10. Each question carries 3 marks. And section C consists of 3 questions, each carry 4 marks. So you can see the marks distribution. Now let us quickly focus on the sample paper, and especially we will be talking about only SQL, and see what are the type of questions which will be asked from SQL. So first question: Aman, a freelancer website. Basically it is referred to the unit 4, that is emerging trend, so we will not discuss it right now. though it is very simple. And second verse is also actually focused on unit 4 only. This one is also focused on unit 2 only. Now question number 3 is focused on SQL, and we will see. So actually, if you know, this is what I was talking about. Power and mode function are not described in the syllabus, but are there here in the sample paper. Don't worry, these are very simple, and only few functions are mentioned in class 11th. Targeting them, these are the questions. So power, basically 5 raised to the power will be the answer. And here note one of the interesting thing which you will notice, that there is no table defined, right? Because we are not using any of the table. We are using simple mathematical function called power. So 5 raised to the power 3, and 5 into 5 into 5, that is 25 into 5 will be the its answer. Mod is just a modulus, so 5 comma 3, that means 5 mod 3, just like in Python. So its answer will be 2. Now second part says briefly explain the purpose of the following SQL functions. That is power, it takes 2 parameters and calculates n to the power m. And similarly mod, it gives you the remainder. For example, if you specify 2 comma 5, that means 3 will be the remainder. Okay, now coming to the question number 4, Navya has just created a website for her company and now needs to host it. Briefly discuss the role of a web server in hosting a website. Obviously this also pertains to unit 4. Now coming to the point, question number 5, round function. Basically it will round till the 3 digits, that means 8.720 will be the output, and select round 9.8 will give you 10. Okay, it simply rounds the value. Okay, and if you want to test it, you can simply go to MySQL and open the command prompt, type your password, and now you can use select. Simply type the command, that is select round 8.72 comma 3, put a semicolon there, and you will get an output, right? Similarly it is select, if you do not specify, it will give you a round figure. Okay, that is 9. Okay, and so here it is 9.8, that means it will give you a 10, right? Let's do it right. Sorry, it should be select round 9.8, put a semicolon, and you get a 10. Okay, so anything which is below 0.5 will give you the lesser value. For example, select round, let's say 9.4 will give you 9, and if you write 9.5, it will give you 10 again. I think this is clear to you now. Okay, and similarly we have some more function which work just like round, but with a little difference. Floor, and that is 9.8, just put a semicolon, and if you go and do this, then also 9. So floor takes you to the lowest whole number. And similarly we have another function called seal, select seal, and that is 9.8 will give you 10, and similarly select seal 9.1 will also give you 10. So there are 3 rounding functions, round, which will round as per the normal function. For example, if you have a value 9.5 or 9 more than 9.5, it will give you the greatest value, greater whole value, closest greater whole value. I think you can understand my emotions, right? and if this decimal place is less than 4 or equals to 4, then it will give you the closest or nearest smaller round value. ठीक है, whole number. Similarly, floor will always give you the greater and closest whole number, and seal will give you always it was actually select floor 9.8. it will give you the closest smaller whole number, and similarly seal will give you a larger closest whole number. Okay, hope this makes sense to you. Now coming to the question number 6. Aryan, a database administrator, has grouped record of a table with the help of a group by clause. Okay, so you can understand group by clause is the clause which is used by him. He needs to further filter group of record generated through group by clause. That means he need to filter, for example, if the maximum age is more than 10. Now the last portion, suggest a suitable clause for it and properly explain its use with the help of an example. So what question says is, for example, if a user is using a group by clause and he wants to further filter on the basis of grouping, that means let us take an example from the question number 7. For example, IT, he is grouping with the help of a department column. Let's say the number of people in the each and every department, but their count must be equals to 2 only. That means on the basis of a count of IT department or account department, the values should be present. The departments who have only more than 2, their counts only should be present. So in this case, you have to use a have clause, right? The answer is have clause instead of a where clause, because where clause cannot filter the group by values. You have to use a have clause. For example, let us write a simple query. Let's say show databases first of all, and see, okay, we have a use school show tables, and let's say select asterisk from student, right? If you see, we have only one record, unfortunately. Use let's say db1, and let's say select asterisk, okay, show tables, and see we have 3 tables. Let's say select asterisk from emp. See, we have lot of records. So if we are using somewhat like this, select count job from emp, you will get 13. But if you are using a group by, how you group by, let's say job, and let us write a job here also and put it. So it will give the count of all the jobs, but I want only the job whose count is equals to 4. So to filter it, if we use a where clause, let's say where count job is equals to 4, then we will run into error. Okay, see, now instead of a where clause, if we substitute this where clause which is written wrong, having clause, so you will see all the jobs having count equals to 4 are present. So you can clearly see where clause cannot evaluate the count function, and check out the error what we are getting. Server version for the right syntax to use near where count job is equals to 4. So this statement clearly is a wrong statement. Instead of a where, we have to use a have. So this is what this question is asking. Okay, now coming to the question number 7. Here Mr. Som, a HR manager in a multinational company Star X World, has created the following table to store the records of employees. Okay, now this is the sample data. He has written the following query: select max year DOB from EMP. Okay, so basically DOB is the column, and here is the function which will extract the date, year part of the date. So here you can see from this function you will get 1994, 1997 and so on, right? So only year part you will be getting, and max, that means maximum amongst this is 2001. So the answer will be 2001. Select E name from EMP where DOG is equals to 11. So this will extract a month from the DOG function, and if the month is 11, that is in case of Julia, you can see, and none of them has, okay, it's a date of joining, so this is the column 11. So in case of Melinda, so this is the row where you get month is equals to 11, and if E name only is printed, so Melinda will be your output, right? Now coming to the next part, or part, you can see based on the table given below, help Mr. Som writing a query from the following task to display the name of eldest. Eldest means whose date of year is smallest, right? Employee and his/her date of birth. C, to display the name of eldest employee and his/her date of birth. So how we are going to do it? See, if we write select max year DOB from EMP, so what we are getting, the maximum year. If we write max DOB, you will be getting the maximum DOB. If you are going to write min DOB, you will be getting the min DOB. Similarly in the case of DOG also. So first part of a query will be select min DOG from EMP. So in this way you will be getting the date of joining, or the okay, its name is eldest date of birth, that is DOB column only, right? So you will write a query somewhat like this. Let me use my let me actually adjust so that I can review the question as well as write the query. Okay, so how I'm going to do it is select date of birth from EMP. You want to have a maximum max date of year, so let's say where DOB is equals to select max, actually it should be min DOB from EMP. Okay, now see, this is an example of nested query where innermost query will be executing first, and you will get the minimum date of birth from the table. So in this case you will be getting 1994, 08 and 28. This will be the output of input query, and it will be substituted. This value will be substituted in place of a query, and then this query will be executed, and you will be getting the minimum date of birth, or eldest date of birth of the eldest employee, right? To display the name of those employees, next part is to display the name of those employees whose joining month is May, right? So May, if you calculate May, how you are going to do it? See, you can see the example. Month, you can extract the month, and month is equals to May. That means if you see April, May, that is 5. So month DOG is equals to 5, right? So the same query will be there. You just have to write 5 here in place of 11, right? And your query will be solved. So that's all for today. Hope you have seen what are the questions that are asked in this section, and you will practice it at your home. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you and have